So now there are several crisis relief programs that are still offering billions of dollars in aid to Americans that are financially struggling. And many lawmakers in Congress are worried about Social Security benefits. Welcome back to the channel, folks. This is all the breaking news that I want you to know about the fourth stimulus check.
But we're okay, you're just worried about your own schedule. I know that. But the fact is that our members are engaged in very thoughtful deliberation with each other. As I said to you before, 90% of this bill has been agreed to, House, Senate, White House, and written. We made some changes since last week. People need to familiarize themselves with it. That was the purpose of our meeting this morning. As I said, it made me very proud and was inspired by just once again hearing the depth of knowledge and breadth of vision of our colleagues. And we'll let you know, but I think many of you know I was really very unhappy about not passing the BIF last week. I really was very unhappy because we had an October 31st deadline, and I thought that was eloquent, but not enough, I guess. So now we're going to pass both bills, but in order to do so, we have to have votes for both bills, and that's where we are.
Madam Speaker, you just mentioned that you don't want members to vote on something that may not have a good prospect when it goes over to the Senate. When it comes down to paid family leave, which is now included in this bill, Senator Joe Manchin believes that it shouldn't be in this bill. Do you believe that the president can convince him otherwise? And what's your message to Senator Manchin on why it deserves to be in this bill?
Well, I don't make it a habit of talking to Senator Manchin on the TV. We're friends. I respect him. He's a good person. He's agreed to so much that is in the bill. Universal pre-K and child care, agreed to the Affordable Care Act, expanded to embrace those who are left out of the Medicaid, especially our seniors who depend on that for long-term care. He's been supportive of the child tax credit. There's so many things, home health care and the rest. Some of the stuff in green, we're not finished with that yet, but we've had some areas of agreement there. So, but the fact is there's one difference between some of these issues, like hearing. It's not for hearing in the bill. Hearing has a very broad universal support in our caucus. In terms of family medical leave, that has big, broad, it's no sacrifice for anybody to vote for something that might not see the light of day. And these, we hope, will see the light of day. We can afford it. It's universal. It's compromise. 4 weeks. I'd rather have it longer. I want it 6 weeks because that's when little babies can finally be able to go to child care, but nonetheless, 4 weeks. So my message to, not Joe Manchin, I mean, we talk enough, he knows what my message is, but with all the respect in the world for the point of view he represents, I disagree. I think that this is appropriate for this legislation. It fits very comfortably with child care, health care, home care, family and medical leave, and it has the full support of our caucus. There are other issues that, for example, registry, which may or may not, people will be willing to vote for it if there's a real prospect for success in the Senate. And we'll have to see what that is. So we have reserved the right to make distinctions among them.
And just respond to some moderates who have said maybe they need more time to review this legislation.
Well, you know, this has been up for, first of all, this is the bill. Basically, we had $3.5 trillion. And then we had to cut it in half, so that was drastic.
Currently, there are several crisis relief programs that are still offering billions of dollars in aid to Americans that are financially struggling. Many lawmakers in Congress are worried about Social Security benefits, and as the SSA runs low on funds, the projected date it will hit depletion was moved up to 2034, and that's just 13 years out. The depletion date will occur when Social Security is forced to cut benefits by 20% due to a lack of funds. The date was moved up due to a drop in tax revenue as a result of the crisis. Now, with fewer people paying income tax in 2020, funding for the SSA dropped even as it continued to pay out benefits. Now, because Americans continue to pay into Social Security through their income tax, the Social Security Administration is not projected to run out of funds, but will instead need to slash benefits by at least 20% to continue operating as more older Americans reach their retirement age. Congress is also working to prevent a benefit cut by introducing a new bill. The bill introduced in House of Representatives would first move the date that the SSA would need to cut benefits back to 2038, and this allows more time to find a permanent solution for the administration. It would provide all beneficiaries with an average increase of about 2%, and increase the payroll taxes subject to Social Security tax, increasing the maximum taxable threshold to $400,000 rather than today's $142,800. Social Security paychecks are set to increase in 2022 by the largest percentage in nearly 40 years. That's according to SSA. Next year, benefits will increase by 5.9% for about 70 million Americans, and that is the highest increase since a 7.4% boost in 1982. This large increase is due to a surging inflation, which increased by 5.4% annually in September. So folks, if Congress cannot reach an agreement concerning Social Security by 2034, inflation levels won't matter, as benefits are slashed by about 20%, and payments will be forced to be determined by the funding available to the administration rather than inflation levels in need. Now, federal policymakers are deeply involved in negotiations over Biden's massive budget bill, and they show no signs of giving Americans another broad round of stimulus checks. But many who lost income in the crisis are still looking for help. That comes as inflation pushes up prices for much of what they buy. More people developed a dim view of the national economy over the last month, with 65% now calling it poor. So if you need more relief to pay the bills and keep debt under control, check into the following 8 programs that still have billions of dollars available. First, more than 75% of $46.7 billion is still available in crisis relief funds to help struggling renters. Significant improvements were made in September. LA gave out $72 million and Illinois distributed $177 million. Illinois tenants and landlords who qualify can request one-time grants of up to $25,000, everybody. Second, there is also the expanded child tax credit payments, and through December, most households with children ages 17 and younger are receiving monthly cash payments through a temporary expansion of the CTC. And everybody, households can get a total of up to $1,500 for kids ages 6 to 17, and as much as $1,800 for each child under 6. Next year at tax time, the credit will provide duplicate second helpings of money that families can collect their tax refunds. Some lawmakers and advocates for policies that fight child poverty favor a permanent expansion of the credit, but Democrats cut a deal to keep the undersized credit for just one more year. And it's a compromise to get the budget support they need with a thin congressional majority. And everybody, another crisis aid program offers discounts on computers and internet access that's needed for jobs and critical healthcare services. Families who meet income requirements can get monthly discounts of up to $50 on broadband service and a one-time discount of up to $100 to buy a laptop.